Storm, earth, and fire, heed my call.
What's up everyone, it's Waves and today I have a new video for you guys. Yesterday the Mage Tower was up on the PTR for testing, and if you don't know what the Mage Tower is, it's basically like a challenge for each spec in the game where you beat a challenge and then you used to get nowadays unobtainable appearance for your artifact weapon in Legion. Nowadays they will bring it back for Legion timewalking, and if you complete the challenge on your class then you get a recolor of the Tomb of Sargeras Transmog sets. And yeah, I pretty much just went in there yesterday, saw if there were any bugs or anything, and kind of wanted to see, because I did the challenge in Legion, where the differences are, if it's balanced the same way, or like, you know, if it's scaling with gear, stuff like that, how it's working, if there are any bugs, anything. So I just went in, did it on stream yesterday, and I think since the patch is gonna hit live in the beginning of November, and then the first time that we get Legion time walking will be in December, for you guys to be ready for the challenge to get your sweet transmog set, I thought may as well just go through the video, explain a bit the fight a bit to you guys, and just give you some helpful tips for the fight so you can beat it in December as well and get your transmog on live. So I would say we just start the video. We enter the room here, and for the enhanced challenge there are three enemies. We have Valbrand, Sigrin, and the Runeseer, the casting mob. You pretty much need to kill Valbrand, and the Runeseer has to be at like 1 HP, and then the fight ends. They have a shared HP pool, so it doesn't really matter who you attack. It's going to be very helpful to have a Hex macro for Sigrin, and probably focus her as well. That's going to make it way easier. But we will get to that when she does the ability later on. So for the most part, I chose to just be on the casting mob so that I have an easier time interrupting him the whole time, and that the melee mob would stand on the caster mob the whole time so I can cleave and get more damage out of it. And yeah, I would just say we watch the video, we watch the fight, and then as we continue I will just explain the mechanics, how to deal with them, and yeah, give you some helpful tips, because there are some bad overlaps, but we will get to that. So first of all, I just start the fight, I interrupt the Runeseer, I use my Earth Ally just for more damage, and we just start the fight. You will notice that I didn't use Bloodlust in the beginning. You want to use Bloodlust in the beginning, but because this is the PTR and I didn't have my stuff set up, the Bloodlust that I have on my bar is actually a macro that didn't work. So yeah, no Bloodlust for me, but it's not that big of a deal. You will see these hammers on the ground, by the way, that just go in circles here, basically, from Valbrand. They knock you down, they do some damage, so just try to dodge them. I chose to play Earth Shield, by the way, for more healing, because pretty much the only thing that will keep you from beating this challenge is overlaps and healing. So you just want to stay alive, basically, and then the damage will be enough, most likely. So just dodge the hammers on the ground. Shadow Bolts, you can't interrupt all of them, but you interrupt as many as you can. Right now Valbrand is empowered, like he will cast a rage, and when he's raging he will do a lot of damage. So if you don't have your Earth Ally out, you may want to slow him or stun him, whatever, right, or kite him so that he doesn't reach you, because he will do a lot of damage in that moment. Sometimes you will get these pink runes on the ground that you can see right here. It's going to be 3 of them. Before they vanish, they get smaller and smaller, and before they vanish you have to step onto them to remove them, because if you don't they will explode and kill you. So that's what I'm doing here. I will just Ghost Wolf and sprint to step on all of them. Sometimes you get Valkyrs throwing down these healing spheres. You can step into that and then you just get healed. It wasn't really necessary because I had enough healing on my main. I actually did the challenge later on as well with like a lower geared shaman, and it was just as easy because there is scaling. There are some gear pieces where the scaling is a little bit off and then you're way weaker than usually. But for the most part, if you have a little bit of gear on 60, then the scaling should be fine. At least from what we've seen on stream. So yeah, there's that. As you can see, always just trying to maximize my cleave. We walk over the runes yet again. And there you can see, first time that Sigrin is casting the Blood of the Father. you want to hex her during that, because when she finishes the cast, she will get a buff, and then she will do pulsing AoE damage. I noticed that it's better to let it go off, and right as it go off, hex her, and then just don't touch her again, like don't break the CC, wait until the buff falls off, and then she will just start fighting you again, and you can just start cleaving them all down together again. If you hex her before she finishes the cast, I've noticed that she starts casting it quicker again, and yeah, in my opinion, it's just easier if you wait until it's applied. You can see she has the buff down here now, and then I just hex her and let the buff fall off, basically. Yeah, focus, as I said, still on Runeseer, because I can interrupt him the whole time. Valbrand is actually just standing there and throwing his axe at me, but that's semi-fine. Like, it doesn't do that much damage. Valbrand, however, has another ability. He will cast a Bladestorm, and that Bladestorm kind of sucks you towards him, and whenever that happens, you just want to stun him, but we will see that in a second. The Runeseer sometimes does Ancestral Knowledge, where he just gets a shield and does a very long cast. You just gotta do damage to the shield to break the shield, and then you can interrupt the cast. If you really want to min-max your damage, once you broke the shield, you can also just continue doing damage and wait until the cast is almost done before you interrupt it, because in that time he won't cast any shadow bolts that you need to interrupt. So that just takes a little bit of damage that you would receive out of the fight. So that's just a little tip that I can give you here. I didn't actually do it, but if you need to min-max the damage, then you can do that. It was also, like on the PTR, it was a little bit annoying to play with interrupts and stuff like that, because it's NA servers, so me playing from EU, I had a lot of MS playing this on PTR, so interrupts and stuff like that were always a little bit delayed. Sometimes you get Valkyrs. They can come from 4 directions in the room, and there will always be like one gap in between the Valkyrs. You just gotta walk over there, and then they charge through the room, and if you get hit, you're pretty much dead. So just walk over to the gap here. As you can see, I'm doing it in the video, and wait for them to charge through, and then you can just continue. Sometimes that was on the PTR, that's not supposed to be this way. On the PTR, sometimes some of these mobs would just stand around not doing anything. Like you can see Sigrin just standing here, not really doing anything. Then it just took them a couple of seconds, and then they would return to fighting. I would assume that when this hits live, that should be fixed, that they don't randomly just AFK. Like you can see Sigrin is just standing there not doing anything. And then as the fight continues, she will actually return to fighting. You can see the wind around Valbrand right here. That is what I said, like the Bladestorm. And since I knew it was coming, I actually already placed my stun totem. You can see it exploding right here, and I instantly stunned it to cancel it. There will be some bad overlaps later on in the fight, but we will see that. There's the next Blood of the Father. And if I didn't instantly stun the Bladestorm from Valbrand, then this would have already been like a nasty overlap, the Bladestorm and the Blood of the Father, because then you have to hex Sigrin. But once you get sucked in from the Bladestorm, if you actually get close to Valbrand, like the Bladestorm will like 2 or 3 shot you. So it's gonna be a little bit difficult to get the hex there, but we will see that later on in the fight. In this situation, it was rather easy, so I just get the hex on Sigrin and can continue the damage. You can also see, like, it's quite apparent that they have a shared health pool, so it doesn't really matter who you're attacking, but cleaving is definitely helpful, because you just maximize the damage that you're doing on their combined health pool. So now we get some runes here and there. As always, just walk through them. Shamans have a very good tool to do that with Ghost Wolf and your sprint, so don't have to worry about that one. There we get the shield again. By the way, in this video I'm playing sort of like the talents for the Doomwinds playstyle, even though legendaries, conduits, covenant abilities, that's all disabled in timewalking. So I still played Forceful Winds, Stormflurry, Alley Assault, Sundering, Ascendance. I also tried it with all the talents that we play currently with the Hot Hand Wolfbones playstyle. So, you know, like Alley Blast and Hot Hand and stuff like that. I also tried it with that, also beat the challenge that way. It's pretty much just the same. It doesn't really matter that much. Whatever build you prefer, you can play. We get more runes here. So again, I'm just stepping on them. And now, towards the end of the fight, like around this time in the fight, like before Valbrand dies, but they are all pretty low, this is when the very, very bad overlaps happen, and we will see one of these right now. So I pop Ascendance because I wanted to do damage. Then we get runes on the ground that you have to do, like if they explode, you're most likely dead. But I also get Valkyrs, so I have to be in the gap. If those hit me, I'm dead as well. So I grab that rune over here, try to be in the gap of the Valkyrs here, and then rush over here because down here there is a very small rune that I just barely catch before it explodes, and then the other one also just barely get it. And now we get runes again, so I have to rush to get these. He starts casting Bladestorm while I still have to get this rune, and the second rune is kind of close to him in the Bladestorm, and Sigrin is casting Blood of the Father. So the plan here is get this rune, step out of the Bladestorm a little bit because my stun is on cooldown, I can't stun him, and I can't hex him because I need hex for Sigrin. So the plan is step on this rune, run outside to where the Bladestorm doesn't kill me, and I have enough room to cast hex on Sigrin without getting like sucked into the Bladestorm and die. And I'm at 53% HP, so it's gonna be a little bit sketchy. I get the rune, get the second rune. Sigrin has the buff, so now there's pulsing AoE damage. I start casting the hex, but I interrupt it because I see I'm at 4% HP and I have to heal myself. Use a health potion, finish casting the hex, so Sigrin is not a problem anymore. Now I just have to like stay out of this Bladestorm to not die. But the Runeseer is also still like casting at me, like the Shadow Bolts. So we actually dropped to 44 HP here, 1% HP. So that's a pretty close call, not gonna lie. But I get a healing surge off, get another healing surge off, the Bladestorm is over. And that is pretty much the nastiest overlap that you can get in this challenge. Once you get used to it though, once you're prepared a little bit, if you didn't waste your stun as I did, and you have your stun ready for Bladestorm, as long as you're aware of how to handle the mechanics and you know about all the overlaps, it's not that big of a deal. There's another Bladestorm. I didn't think he would do it as quickly again, but I just walked out of it. And that's pretty much it. Like, Valbrand is almost dead. And that's kind of like the essential of the challenge. Like, once you get down how to handle the overlaps, then it shouldn't be a problem. Depending on your gear, it could be an issue, like staying alive, having the self-healing for everything. But yeah, I just rehack Sigrin here so I can just take my time with the Runeseer and kill it without having Sigrin be an issue. And there we go. I get the Runeseer down. Sigrin will stay alive here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the challenge. Usually you had like, you got teleported away in Legion and it was like the end of the quest and whatever. You got like dialogue and shit. You didn't get that on the PTR. It just stayed like this. Like a year, like the Valkyr or whatever she is that you get teleported to, has a little dialogue and then that's it. There were no major bugs in the challenge. The only thing that I saw was like that at one point Valbrand and at one point Sigrin just stood around, didn't do anything for like a couple of seconds and then they returned to fighting. Yeah, it was fun playing this again. I also got the Transmog, which I can show you a clip of it right now. So yeah, that's the Transmog set. I think it's pretty cool. A lot of people said they don't really like the recolors as much. I think it's a cool set. I also really liked the Tomb of Sargeras set from Legion. So definitely hyped to get it in the timewalking once this hits live. It was a fun day yesterday on stream, testing all the challenges again. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Hopefully this was helpful for you once the timewalking actually hits live. Hopefully this helps you get your challenge done and you can enjoy your Transmog. With that being said, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next video or in the live stream, whatever you prefer. And yeah, until then, peace.